Okay. All right. So, like we saw in our warm-up, okay, acids are going to be things that have hydrogen at the beginning. Bases are going to be things that end in OH. Just take this one step further. Which definition is that following? The Arrhenius or the Bronsted-Lowry?
Bronsted-Lowry. No, Arrhenius.
Arrhenius, yes. It's the one that produces hydrogen or produces hydroxide, right? So those tend to be the easiest ones to find using the Arrhenius definition. Bronsted-Lowry, we have to look at kind of a reaction with water. But don't worry about that today. We're going to just worry about naming. Just wanted to remind you where those came from. All right, so for bases, okay, bases are probably the easiest ones, so we'll start with that, okay? It'll be quick. So just like when we were naming compounds, when you name a base, you're basically, just kidding. All right, you're going to put a metal, thank you, I appreciate it, and the word hydroxide, which if you think about it, that is not any different from when we were naming compounds, right? We put our metal and then the polyatomic, same thing, nothing's changing. So a metal, and then you follow up with the word hydroxide. That's a way to recognize that you have a base, hydroxide, the word. Okay, you got to be able to pull from names and from formulas. All right, so for example, we have something, if this one shows up, right? Na and then OH, okay? The way we would name this is we would say sodium, that's our metal, and then we would follow up with hydroxide, that's our polyatomic, right? Simple enough. Nothing really to it. If I give you the name and ask you to write me the formula, okay? For example, if I give you barium hydroxide, okay? If I give you barium hydroxide, then you got to think back to crisscrossing charges. Crisscrossing charges. So, barium, what is the chemical symbol for barium? Ba. So we're going to go ahead and put Ba. I'm going to have a, what charge on Ba? It's in the second group. By the way, you still have your charges. They were on the back of where the solubility rules were. If you flip it back over, you have all your charges. So what is it? +2. It's in group 2. Good. Okay. And then hydroxide, you can look at your polyatomic list, or you can just write this. OH, and it has a -1. So we take those charges, we crisscross them, you would end up with Ba and then OH with a little 2 on the outside. You need to still be able to do that. Okay? All right. The other one that I want you to have written down, I told third period this, so I just want to make sure you guys have it too. Sodium hydrogen carbonate is also a base, but it doesn't look like it, right? There is no hydroxide. Carbonates tend to be your bases. You really won't deal with that too often, except this one is at all of your lab stations. It's safety, all right? That's what that little white powder is at all of the lab stations that I tell you, okay, if you spill an acid, you got to use that first. So sodium hydrogen carbonate, that's baking soda. That is a base. The other one that you have to get familiar with is NH3, and that is ammonia.